on the name of a pun on today's live name, and I'm quite happy about it. So let's get right into the topic. Before we get into it, I want to talk about how everybody was talking about how long is January going to be. Oh my god, it's still January, it's still January. And so many people were talking about it, and that got me thinking, why are we sad about January being long? In fact, if it is longer, that means you're actually supposed to work on yourself, consistently work on yourself to get to what you are. No, it's the year of 2025. So much has changed. COVID was about 5 years back now. Life has become so different. Some difficult for some, really good for some others. Life has had its ups and downs. It has been amazing for some people. People have experienced life. Some people have gotten married and had kids. People who I thought would never even look at each other are friends again, and etc., etc. So much has changed. And I want to talk about how you can use this month of February, which has you in it. It has you in it. You, as in you, the person who is watching today's live, how to make February your own and build it for your own self. How to make it like the most you, as much as you want to be. All right, let's get right into it. February is supposed to be the month of Valentine, right? February is supposed to be the month of love. February is supposed to be the month everybody talks about love. So I want you to focus on, when I say you, I also mean me. I want us to now focus on how to make February our own. How to make February. Hello, hi Naren. How to make February into something that will work for us. You know how February is important is because February is a month of love. Why I want us to show that love to our own selves. I'm doing great, Naren. Thank you for asking. I hope you're doing well as well. Um, so how do you make February your own? How do you make February as the month which shows you how to love yourself, how to respect yourself, how to make February your own? February, how to make February work for you instead of all of these months working against you? Why don't you use February as your month to wish for things that you want, to work on things that you want? Thank you so much, Naren. Why don't you use the month February to build something for your own self? I'm very happy for people who have partners right now. Congratulations! It's the month of love, and I would never wish anything amazing, like never wish anything lesser for you. And I hope that this month brings you a lot of love, lot of joy, lot of presence, a good experience. And I hope you know that your value is like right here. So never settle for anything less. May you have an amazing month. May you also have an amazing like Valentine week, etc. Hi Sanjay. Hello. How do we make February our own? So February, because February is a month of love, I want you to show self-love all throughout this month. I want us to be extremely in love with ourselves. I know it is difficult to love ourselves most of the days. I think we've been raised in such a way that you're always, on those days where you're like, "Yeah, I don't like myself at all." Most of us grow up by thinking I don't like myself or I hate myself, and all the small mistakes that you did, you will obviously have to you kind of blame yourself, you kind of hurt yourself, you kind of don't forgive yourself uh, for whatever you've done, right? So I want you to use this month, the February month, to forgive yourself, to let go of everything that you've gone through, every little mistake that you've done. And we're all humans, we've done mistakes. Forgive yourself for those mistakes and start loving yourself in a much more respectful way. Start setting your standards in a much more bigger way. I want you to use February, I want us to use February to show self-love, to show self-reflection, and you extremely like work hard on trying to figure out what we actually are, what we actually want from a relationship, what we actually want. So most of the time where you'll hear this, like it's a very spiritual thing that I've heard many times, is what you are is what you attract. So I want us this February to consistently work on ourselves, to attract the right partner, to attract the right people. And it doesn't have to be in like a romantic sense, it can be in a platonic sense. I want us to use the month February to show respect to ourselves, to consistently show up, to consistently be respectful about how everything is going. Take yourself out on dates. If you don't have a partner right now, go take yourself out on dates. Take a journal with you, take a book with you, read there, understand, like actually work on understanding what is the next move, what do you want to do, what is your next plan, and how will you make that happen. Consistently work on yourself, consistently. You should love yourself enough. We've all had those days where I think I'll start with like a personal story. I think when I was younger, I was never appreciated for what I was. I don't remember much from my childhood, but I know for a fact that I was never complimented for my looks. I was only complimented if I got like 90% in school, which was very rare. I don't think I was that smart anyway. I was like an average student. I wasn't a very smart student. So I always was complimented only if I got like a decent marks in school. But otherwise that I was never complimented. I never got compliments on my looks, never got compliments on anything that I did. I did not know what actually loving ourselves was. So because I was treated like that, because I think that's how normal Indian parents will treat you. They will they'll not know all of this, because I think our parents did everything that they experienced, right? Everything that was there in their control is what they did. And so yeah, so I did not grow up thinking that very highly of myself. In fact, I grew up a little in a way where I used to not like myself that much. I used to hate how my hands looked, my feet looked, my face looked. I did not like my curly hair. Of course, nobody loved their curly hair. The curly hair vibe has come now. I did not like the way I spoke. I did not like a lot of things about me, which is very normal for like kids in India, very normal for people who grew up with like a decent basic childhood. So I didn't realize that that's not the way to live until I think I was in my MBA, which I was in like 11 to when I was 2021. That is when I realized that that's not the way to live. You have a different lifestyle altogether. I then started seeing people who actually respect themselves, respect their own opinion, have their own style of like living their life. They are able to communicate what they want. They're able to love themselves for all the nooks and crannies and sad things or bad things or stupidity that they did. And I loved seeing that. I loved seeing people respecting themselves, and building their whole life around what they felt like. Then I started to understand, oh, there's something called as gut feeling, there's something called as self-love, there's something called as self-reflection, there's something called as growth. And eventually I then figured out that, oh, I should love myself more, or I should be much more, if I don't like the way I look, I should figure out what looks good on me, like what kind of clothing looks good on me, what kind of hair looks good on me, how to style my curls, how to what kind of clothes do I wear, what makes me feel much more comfortable, what makes me feel happy. When I started asking such questions, is when I realized that, okay, self-love is something that I can do. Self-love is not just like going on runs and journaling and like all of these fancy words like going or taking a solo trip. Self-love is also showing up for yourself. Self-love is also sleeping on time. Self-love is also just being your own self and being happy in your own skin, understanding that what people think of you doesn't really matter. How you think of yourself, are you able to think of yourself highly? Are you able to respect yourself? Are you able to be curious with yourself? Are you able to communicate when you don't like certain thing, or when you like something, when you hate people around you? Are you able to cut these toxic people out who don't add any value in your life? Are you able to take a step back and realize, okay, I did a mistake, I need to figure out what went wrong, and I need to consistently work on myself? Self-love is all of these factors. Self-love is just, like even the simplest things, which is like giving yourself breaks in the middle of the day when you're working, going on these walks, reading books. I have been reading this book, The Power, and it's, I think it's called The 48 Laws of Power. It's like a huge book, and this is my target for February. I want to make sure that I complete this book in February, because I'm calling this my self-love book, where I also learn how to become somebody in power and be confident with it. We become so uncomfortable around, like, more money when you get like a bigger position. I actually have been, I have been that person who gets very uncomfortable, who feels like, what's the word, yeah, the word is called imposter syndrome. I feel imposter syndrome when I don't belong to some places, and that happens when you feel like you don't deserve it. And there is nothing in this world that you don't deserve. Like, you deserve the fucking, oops, you deserve the world. You deserve everything that you want. You deserve every little thing that you want. Like, if you want to travel the world, if you want to become the manager, if you want to make 1 crore rupees in a year or in a month, whatever you want to do, I hope you know that you deserve the world and you are able to get it. And if your imposter syndrome is stopping you from that, imposter syndrome is when you feel uncomfortable and when you feel like you don't belong in like a certain situation. If you have gotten to a place, Mohit, where you feel like you are not comfortable, wherever you are, it is something that happened in your childhood that's trying to pull you back and trying to tell you that you don't deserve it. I want you to work on that. I want you to consistently work on how you feel in places and how you communicate in places, how you maybe how you come up as like a strong independent person in places. How do you show up for yourself? Consistently make sure that you understand that you have a value, that you have a respect that you have already built in yourself, and you deserve big things in the world. And when you deserve these big things in the world, so you should not settle for less. You should never feel like, hey, I'll manage, or I'll be unhappy. I'll like, okay, I have a partner who hasn't still asked me for to be his Valentine. Oh, it's still fine because or I have a company that is not able to pay me my dream salary, and I'm still okay with it because I'll manage. You no, you shouldn't manage. There are bigger things that you have to do in life. There are bigger freaking things that are waiting for you. There are bigger things that you deserve in this world. And for you to get there, I want you to consistently work on your own self-worth, on your own self-love. Understand that you deserve the world. Understand that you need to ask this question. Yes, ask yourself, understand, and yeah, go to your attack mode. Go look at these problems and find solutions for your own self. Understand how you can get better at something so that you can love yourself more, of course, and then expect the same kind of love around you. Why don't you become a much more better version of yourself, not just for others around you, for your own self? Imagine that your partner is learning from you. Imagine your future kids are learning from you. Not just kids, imagine your future, like, the next generation is learning from you. Imagine that consistently working on yourself not just helps you, it's like, one of those things, like, you grow, and you grow with like the whole troop, your cousins, your friends, your family, everyone. When you grow, everybody around you grows, because you're consistently working on yourself. What do we do this February? This February, we sleep on time. We consistently work on ourselves. We consistently upskill ourselves. We consistently seek for more knowledge. We ask curious questions. We ask questions. We go head on with the questions. We ask not just ourselves but people around us on how I can improve. What do you think I should do to improve today? What do you think I should do to improve overall? People who are especially close to you will consistently tell you, or if you ask questions they will tell you on what you should actually work on, how you can make this February your February, where you know and understand and actually start loving yourself. When I somebody randomly asked me this question, when they asked me, do you think you'll marry yourself? I'm like, what? I don't want to do sologamy. But it was a real question where I was like, okay, what do you actually mean? They asked me whether if you had found somebody who was exactly like you, like the way you maybe think of the way they like the exact version in like a male version, say looks, or say the kind of habits I have, the kind of money I make, the kind of lifestyle I live, would I actually marry myself in like another version? And I started asking, and then I asked, why would you ask such a question? It's like a random question. It's weird, right? So they said that is going to help you to become a better version of you. How? Because you will ask yourself, would you accept this kind of behavior from people around you, and especially from partner around you? If you are somebody who wakes up early in the morning and goes to the gym, that'll be such a cool thing, because I would want me to do that. I would also want my partner to do that. Would you be that person? If you are somebody who doom scrolls, would you want that in your partner? No, because you'd want to spend quality time with somebody. You would want to do much more activities with somebody. We would want to learn more, get curious, learn about each other. If you have such expectations from a partner, why don't you have such expectation from you? You also have a promise to yourself. Would you ever show up late to a meeting, like an office meeting? No. Why are you showing up late for yourself? Why are you not asking such questions when you can take hours and hours to make like a report which is huge, like, you know, will tell you everything about the product that you're working on, everything about the social media, blah 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 blah. If you can take so much time to actually work on like other people's project, why are you not doing that with your own self? Why are you not taking the time out to reflect, to ask yourself the questions of, hey, where do you think I should actually improve? What do you think I should actually work on? What areas of my life need work right now? Like, I know my some areas of my life that need work right now are, say, upskilling myself, or understanding more about myself, like understanding, say, styling my hair, or like any other question. Like, in fact, the most simplest thing, which is like editing a YouTube video, understanding that and just learning that for fun. And it's not something you have to do, okay, but it's something you should want to do. You should want to upgrade yourself. You should want to become much more comfortable in your own skin. I somehow, I think a couple of years back, got so much into fashion that I understood what, first of all, I bought too many clothes, and then I understood, okay, I have too many clothes, then I donated those clothes, and then I realized what my style was, blah 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 blah, where I got to a stage where I love my fashion game. I love the way I dress up for myself. I love the way I dress up for others. I love the way I dress up at socials. I love the way I dress up at like office meetings. I got so much comfortable with my own fashion side that I don't think I'll ever listen to anybody else, because I've gotten so much comfortable with it, because I took the time out to understand more about fashion, because it was something that I thought being fashionable or being presentable was something that was going to help me. It is if you especially go to office, or even if you meet somebody, your first impression is especially how you look. It is very important on what kind of clothes you wear, what kind of shoes you wear. It doesn't have to be like the most new latest fashion, like beautifully right out of packaging and right out of like big boutiques. But your fashion sense, the clothing that you wear, you need to be extremely comfortable in it. They need to be like nicely pressed. They need to be fresh, like, you know, washed. They need to be clean. So understand that being presentable is much more important. Understand the importance of how to dress in like different occasions. I understood that it was important for me to learn, and hence I put in the effort to learn it. The same way, you have this February, sit down with yourself, reflect with your own self, and ask yourself the question on what I should work on, and maybe you'll come up with like 15 different things. Why don't you take that as a challenge and do that every month? So if you come up with, say, hey, I need to understand more about fashion, then take this whole month to understand about fashion, or upskill yourself, or learning to communicate, learning to speak English, learning to deliver your speech, learning to communicate with a partner, learning to like simple things like, how to make your bed, or how to live an independent life, like learning how to cook. Just invest a little bit of time to understand and learn about yourself. Like, the more you know, the more you can get better at life overall, because you never know what life can throw at you. And what if you don't know to cook at all, and suddenly you have to move to UK, suddenly you have to move to Paris, and you have to live there, and there you have nobody to cook for you. Here you might be comfortable, you might have a cook, you might have your family cooking for you, you might have a partner cooking for you, you might have like whatever, whoever is cooking for you. Like, if you have to immediately move somewhere, who's gonna cook for you? You have to learn all of these skills. These are life skills that you consistently have to work on. Imagine that you have to move outside India. You imagine like we'll do like cute imaginations, okay, with that you have to move outside India, you have to live, you get a chance to live alone, you have to move outside from your comfortable city to another city that you just want to go to. And there, how will you live your life if you don't know your basic things, like how to dress up, how to dress for like a meeting, how to basically cook, or how to like go to the gym. Like, learn how to work out on your body, learn what kind of meals you should put, learn about protein. Oh my god, I still don't know how will I learn about protein. I'm consistently trying to learn more about protein, but I mostly don't understand a lot of it that is going. There's so much information around me. So start asking questions. Get curious. Uh, about learning about yourself, learning how much, say, I think women out there, if you're watching today's live, learn about your menstrual cycle, learn about the month, what is the follicular side, what is the ovulating side, what are the other kind of like, weeks that you have, the phases that you have, and how you have to consistently work on making these phases better. Like, there's like so much vitamin, there are so many vitamins you can take, there's like dry fruits you can eat, etc, etc. There's again too much information out there. Take the time out to learn about how you can take care of yourself. And why only women? I think if you especially want to become a good partner to your girlfriend or to your wife, why don't you take the time to actually understand what women go through, and learn how to take care of your girl, how to learn how to take care of your women in your life, and like, get curious about it, ask questions, ask like, understand what kind of meals she should eat, understand when to buy her chocolates, and understand when to take her on like a running date. Understand the difference about different phases of a woman's life, and try and buy flowers for her. Again, February is a month of love. Not just this month, don't just love yourself, also love the people around you. Create that loving environment for yourself. Forgive yourself for everything that you did, all the mistakes that you did, all that got messed up. Become much more interested in your own self. Imagine if you're dating yourself, wouldn't you ask questions? Start asking yourself those questions. Hey, what is my favorite color? What is something that is my biggest dream? What is how do I get to my biggest dream? What is something that you do? Like, these are like random questions that you can ask yourself. What is something that you would do if you got like 10 lakh rupees and no strings attached? What would you actually do with the money? What if you didn't have to work every day? What would you do? Start asking yourself questions on uh, what if you actually didn't have to work every day, but you could work on anything that you want. Like, you have all the comforts in the world, and if you still wanted to work on something, what would that be? For me, it would be like making my life better, and making like other people's life better, who I would work with. Again, like I think I'm going into the direction of like a life coach or something, and that'd be amazing. Like, ask yourself those questions, get curious about yourself, start self-reflecting, start asking yourself many more questions. What is the style of clothing that you like? What is the kind of hairstyle you always wanted? What is the kind of partner you would want? What is the kind of money you would want to make? What is the next position that you would actually want to kind of be on? Like, it is such a good practice, not just for ourselves, it's also learning about your own self. And when you are consistently asking these questions, you will also get very smart about yourself, and also you know what questions to ask to other people around you. um, Start not just asking questions about how much money and what do you actually do for living. Ask yourself questions: what are the hobbies that you had in your childhood that you would want to go back to? What made you happy as a child? What was your favorite fruit? What is your favorite memory from your childhood? How do you remember your grandparents? How do you what was your favorite color as a child, and how has it changed over the years? What were the kind of school uniforms you had when you were little? Oh my god, that's so cute. This rabbit hole will keep going, and I can give you so many questions which will actually make you interesting as a partner, of course on a date, or would be an interesting conversation to even have with ourselves, to ask and get to know ourselves. Like, what kind of bag did you have as when you were growing up? Did you actually cross like rivers to get to school? How was it when it rained when you were little? Ask yourself questions, learn and get to know yourself more. Ask yourself all these curious questions. Build like you know build like a portfolio for your own self. Understand what you actually wanted to do. Like, I wanted to become a teacher when I was little, right? So I think this is personal coaching is would be like a way of me manifesting my childhood dream. Imagine that. Like, I never thought I'd go back to it. I never thought I'd go back to teaching, but this seems like I would actually do it. Like, learn and ask yourself questions. The more you know yourself, the more you can actually grow, and more you can actually love yourself. And then um in compare and in like you know and in that way, learn to also love yourself. Like, not just love yourself, and also show people how to love you. Show them, ask them. Like, I am not that person who loves flowers. Like, I would rather have like a plant in my house. Like, I understood that only after I saw so many like flowers die in front of me. I was like, oh my god, I'm such a Phoebe, I don't like that flowers are dying in front of me. Ask yourself such questions. Ask everything about your childhood. Ask what made you happy when you were little. Like, coloring made me so happy when I was little. Now, I had gone to DMart recently. I got like a children's coloring book and some colored pencil, and I color when I feel very extremely stressed, or I feel just like I don't want to do anything. Cut out from your phone your or like like put like a timer on your phone or something, and just throw away your phone and actually put in the effort to get to know yourself. Build your own self. Like, again, go back and ask yourself question: what was the last date that made me happy? When was the last time I was actually happy? Like, when I laughed my my heart out. Like, I laughed so much the last time I had met this friend of mine. And I every time I meet a friend, okay, who's from my childhood, or who's from my like initial days of college or initial days of work, every time I ask them questions, they will always tell me, "Oh, you were like the gundi, you were like the dawn of the group, and you were like this and like that." And I realized I was like that, and I did, of course, I did a lot of reflection after that, and I realized I was like that because I was raised as a tomboy, and I thought that being feminine, being comfortable in your own skin, like being a woman, was negative. Somehow I had that in me, and eventually with time I understood and I got comfortable even with pink color. Oh my god, it was such a transformation from going from like a tomboy to going to like a much more feminine side. My tomboy side is still there. I can beat people up if needed, but I am much more comfortable in my own feminine side. I'm much more comfortable wearing heels, shorter clothes, showing up for myself. Like, feminine energy is said to be a much more receiving energy, much more nurturing energy, much more mature, much more comfortable in your own body, and it's a little more erotic as well. So I finally got comfortable with my own body, like my own skin, under my own skin. Like being under your own skin should be extremely comfortable, and that only happened because I asked myself questions of, oh, how was I in school or college, and then I asked people of how I was actually in like my initial days of work, and then I started asking myself the question, oh, how was I growing up, because I grew up with a lot of boys around me. I grew up as a tomboy, and that manifested itself into me in school and college being a tomboy and standing up for myself. And actually, like I'm not like sad about it. I'm really comfortable about it, that I was this like this comfortable in my own skin, that if you go back and if I sometimes go back and check the kind of picture, like the clothes that I used to wear very like boyish clothes, because again I was not comfortable with my own skin. I was not like extremely in tune with myself, and now I'm still. I think it's like a consistent cycle of learning. It's a consistent cycle of getting to know yourself, learning more about yourself, and consistently growing into this person that you want to grow. Like if you want to be a much more tomboy and want to wear clothes like that, it's your own choice. But if you also want to understand the feminine side of you, if you want to understand a much more side of you where you're much more comfortable in your own skin, you want to apply eyeliner a certain way. So this is the way I apply my eyeliner. It's not like a full eyeliner, it's like a lazy eyeliner. I learned that from someone, and that's how I've been applying my eyeliner from then onwards, like since the day I learned it. And I got curious of why I take so much effort. Like do like a lazy eyeliner, learn, get curious about it, right? Get curious about your own skin, get curious about asking questions on, oh, what do I do next, how what made me happy as a child, what made my parents happy as a child. Apparently I was a very fun kid who used to dance all the time, and when I got into school and college, I never danced because again I was not comfortable in my own body, and dancing in front of people scared me. Turns out then when I realized that, I actually started going to dance classes and learn dancing professionally. So I currently am like a good decent dancer, and when I actually dance, the kid that was there, like the 5-year-old Darshini, she feels so happy. Like I can feel it, my gut tells me that it is so happy, it is so comfortable, it is so in tune with itself, it is so in love with itself, because I was able to go back to something that I absolutely love. So this February, take the effort to get to know yourself and go back to things that you love: dancing, painting, biking, walking, running, getting to talk to people, journaling, reading, whatever it is. Go back to what you actually love. February is the month of love. I'm stressing on that extremely, like about too many times. February is the month of love. And the month of love, you need to learn how to love yourself. And to love yourself, go back to your childhood, learn what made you happy, and actually give yourself the time to learn and to love, to become that person who loved themselves. Like I think when we were little, we loved ourselves. We had no like no restriction. There was no, like, what is it called, no parda, or no uncomfortable thought like, oh my god, everybody's watching me, or what will people think. I don't think we were like that when we were little. So I want you to get back to that. You stop giving too many efforts about people. What will people think. Start thinking about what you actually want to do. What do you want to actually build for yourself? What is the way you can love yourself? You can love the young version of yourself. What is the way you can love the future version of yourself and be actually happy? Like, make February your own. It has a you in it. Make it your own. And I hope you have like an amazing February. The second month of 2025. 2025 we thrive, and February we make February our own. We learn to love ourselves in ways that is important to us. And tell me about what you did. What did you do to actually love yourself? I would love to see them on the comments. If you think that I added any value into today's life, please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. It would mean the world to me. Let's have an amazing February, and this 2025, let's thrive together. Thank you so much for watching today's live. I will see you in the next one. Bye.